There once was a philosophy professor who was giving a lecture. In front of him, he had a big glass jar and a pile of rocks on the table. After putting all the rocks inside, he asked the class, "Is this jar full?" The class said, "Yes." He then grabbed a bag of pebble from under the table and proceeded to dump these smaller rocks into the jar. He shook the container, working the smaller pieces into the spaces between the bigger rocks. "Is the jar full?" he asked again. The students all looked at each other and agreed that the jar was completely full now. He then poured a bag of sand into the container and again shook the jar to help the sand fill in all the cracks between the larger rocks and the pebble. "Are you sure it's full?" he asked again. Finally, the professor picked up a bottle of water and tipped the water into the jar until it soaked up in all the remaining space in the sand. The students laughed. "What is the point of this illustration?" he asked the class. One of the students answered, "No matter how full your schedule is, if you try really hard, you can always fit some more things into it." "No," said the professor. "The truth this illustration teaches us is, if you don't put the big rocks in first, you'll never get them in at all." Dear friends, many of us start writing New Year's resolutions every time we approach the new year, but the most important key to achieving all of that is that we must start separating what is the stones, pebbles and sand in our lives. In terms of spirituality, the most important thing is to prioritize our relationship with God every day. Prayer and meditating on the Word are inseparable activities in establishing an intimate relationship with God. God promises in Matthew 6 verse 33 is, "When you seek first His kingdom and righteousness, then all these things will be added to your life." All these things means literally everything. Yes, everything. It is not only about spiritual blessings, it includes all your financial struggles, all your health conditions, all your sorrows, all your family problems, all your relationship problems, and all the uncertainties about your future. Of course, God promises all these things will be added to you, but often what we forget is to seek first His kingdom and His righteousness. His kingdom is about His presence. Is there still any room for Christ in your heart? Or have you been filling the space in your heart with other things that are useless? His righteousness is about His Word. How often do we meditate on God's Word and live out the principles of that Word? Are we only hearers of the Word or doers of the Word? It is very unfair if we only want to pursue God's promises about everything, but ignore the conditions of His kingdom and His righteousness to achieve all of that. Perhaps you feel you have failed before to have a personal relationship with God. You may already feel so far apart from God, but for God it is never too late. The moment you are willing to improve your relationship with God, in that very second God will embrace you. Let us turn a new page with God today. Prioritize God in everything you do, seek God with all your heart, build an intimate relationship with Him. This is the ultimate secret to unlock God promises about everything. Matthew 6 verse 33. But seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well.